Animated movies have been a staple of entertainment for many generations, with some titles becoming classic favorites loved by adults and children alike. From Disney's classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarves to Pixar's modern hit Toy Story, animated movies have provided endless hours of entertainment, laughter, and joy. In this video, we take a look at the top 10 animated movies of all time. Whether you're a fan of Disney classics or the more modern 3D animation, you'll find a favorite in this list. So, settle in and enjoy this journey through some of the most beloved animated movies of all time. Number 10. Shrek. It may be difficult to recall how new, exciting, and energizing the first Shrek movie was because the third and fourth ones went quite horrible pretty quickly. The unrelenting irreverence of the story of an ogre who falls in love with a pretty princess was only surpassed by the sensitivity of its core. Love is sighted. Since City Lights, very few movies have captured that with such honesty and clarity. Number 9. The Toy Story series. An entirely new age of animation was ushered in by Pixar's adult tale of lifelong friendship and maturation. For a quarter of a century, the series continued to enjoy enormous critical and financial success. Part 3 is the greatest of the bunch. One of the biggest and most satisfying creative risks Pixar's artists have ever taken is the third act's surprisingly dark and sorrowful detours. Toy Story 3 is a deeply touching movie, perhaps especially for millennial audiences who grew up with Andy. The fourth film is frequently great but also more polarizing because it ends on an uncomfortably mature note. Number 8. Fantasia. The first movie ever to be produced in stereo, Fantasia was Walt Disney's ambitious compilation of 8 animated musical vignettes set to a score conducted by Leopold Stokowski and emceed by Mickey Mouse. It was so expensive that it didn't begin to make money until its 1969 theatrical re-release. The movie has been seen so many times that, when adjusted for inflation, it is among the highest-earning movies ever. Don't miss your chance to see Fantasia on a huge screen the next time you get the chance. Modern audio equipment, or even better, a live orchestra, cranks up the volume on Fantasia. The conclusion, which is to the tune of A Night on Bald Mountain by composer Modest Mussorgsky, shows Satan and his adherents spreading devastation all through the night. Church bells and the Ave Maria drive the Prince of Darkness into the underworld as morning comes. You go on a journey with Fantasia, without a doubt. Number 7. Finding Nemo. Choosing which of the films in Pixar's canon's top tier is the finest is really difficult since they are all so consistently astounding, quietly revolutionary. Finding Nemo is a masterwork, both in terms of storytelling and its groundbreaking underwater imagery. The undersea experience, which is laugh-out-loud entertaining and full of pathos, is all about the problems of helicopter parenting and the inevitable presence of risk and even danger. Number 6. Bambi. Animation continues to be influenced by the story of a white-tailed deer who rises to become the great prince of the forest. Tyrus Wong's iconic paintings serve as an inspiration to many of today's greatest artists. Bambi is a gateway horror film for younger audiences, containing one of the most well-known and disturbing death scenes in cinematic history. Number 5. Beauty and the Beast. To put things in perspective, an unfinished work print edit of the movie was first screened for an audience in September 1991 at the New York Film Festival. The audience watched 30% preliminary pencil drawings matched with the soundtrack because only 70% of the animation was complete, yet despite this, the film received a historically enthusiastic welcome, with applause all throughout and a 10-minute standing ovation. After receiving 6 Oscar nominations, Beauty and the Beast went on to become the first animated film to earn $100 million in the United States. The Grammy Awards Album of the Year category included the soundtrack album. The less said about the cheesy, yet still lightweight and commercially successful, 2017 remake, the better. Number 4. Sleeping Beauty. Disney's most ambitious and expensive endeavor was only available on VHS, clipped and unfinished, for at least a decade. Watch it right now with great sound on a big screen. It's a one-of-a-kind experience. Sleeping Beauty is a labor-intensive high point for this medium, with art direction by Ivan Earl. Some claim that the 75-minute movie has a shallow plot and that Aurora lacks the charm of other Disney leads. Who cares, in all honesty, when the creativity is this incredible? This is the first Disney movie to be captured in ultra-widescreen. To fully appreciate one of the most spectacularly realized and thrilling action-adventure set pieces ever staged, one must see the finale where Maleficent casts a spell that covers a castle and acres of thorns and then transforms herself into a dragon the size of a skyscraper, all set to the thunderous, swirling, brass-heavy Tchaikovsky-infused orchestral score. It really gets worse as in Die Hard. Number 3. Spirited Away. We can all be thankful that Miyazaki's final film, Princess Mononoke, was not as final as he had previously predicted. This adventure about a young girl traveling to the spirit world via an enchanted bathhouse, or is it all just her imagination gone gonzo? Was inspired by meeting the 10-year-old daughter of a friend. It outperformed even Miyazaki's own previous great films and established the current high watermark for elegance and inventiveness in traditional animation. In addition to drawing tens of thousands of frames by hand for each feature, Miyazaki famously uses some CGI in this scene. The achingly bittersweet epic Spirited Away is about maturing and accepting change. This is the only animated film to date to receive the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, and as a work of fantasy cinema, The Wizard of Oz is an appropriate comparison. Number 2. Pinocchio. Walt Disney's second full-length film is at least as beautiful as its predecessor and is the only one that can challenge Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for the title of finest animated film of all time. It was made with a larger budget, more time, and more resources. The characters have more nuance, and the animation has advanced significantly. Additionally, Pleasure Island is more terrifying to watch since it is pure nightmare material. Wayward young lads are horrifyingly transformed into donkeys on the cursed island. Robert Zemeckis, the director of Forrest Gump, is in charge of the upcoming live-action adaptation. Disney is reportedly undecided on whether to offer the update on Disney Plus or in theaters. The 1940s Pinocchio is classic American cinema. Films don't really get any better than this in terms of excitement, transport, and emotion. It doesn't need to be redone, but if it is, the update should be given top-notch care at all times. Number 1. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. One of the major American aesthetic achievements of the 20th century was the first animated feature, which launched it all. Walt Disney staked everything on this musical fantasy, and many people felt he was crazy to think that audiences would be able to relate to hand-drawn works of art for an entire 80-minute performance. Well, when Snow White was released, it had the highest box office earnings ever despite making grown men cry. Like many great fairy tales, Snow White is a gateway to horror. Along with gothic undertones and some German expressionism-inspired visuals, Snow White also has a major antagonist named one of the 10 most memorable movie villains by the American Film Institute, Snow White's evil stepmother, a cunning royal witch who will do anything to eliminate the endearing princess out of pure vanity. Those are the top 10 animated movies of all time. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, make sure to subscribe to us for more videos and tap the bell icon to get notified with every new video from us. See you in the next video.